Hey, Miss Shirley. Hey, Mom of Three. How are you, beautiful ladies? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is good to see you. Ooh, excuse me. Let me know how you're doing if you would like. If you would like. If you would like. Hey, beautiful Miss Lynn. It is a pleasure to see you, and I hope you are doing well, sweetheart. Miss Shirley says, doing good, and how are you feeling today? I am feeling really, really well. Um, my voice, as per usual, is a little popped a little bit because my mom and my good friend was over yesterday, and I did a lot of chatting with them as well as on the phone, so and so forth. So, you know, so yeah. But other than that, I'm really feeling very, very good. I am not going to hold you guys very long. I um I am thankful for those that may come in the chat and join us today. And for those that will not, perhaps you will catch the replay. If you like what you see or what you hear, may you decide to hit the like button. And if not, we understand that too. You know, we do not expect, what we don't expect in such types of lives. But listen, we put our best foot forward and keeps it pushing out here. You dig? So, for the few of you who have joined me, if you could not forget to hit the like button as you either peek in to say hello and may leave, or if before you get comfortable, it would mean the world to me. Smash that like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Was not quite ready to get started as I do have to use the restroom. But like I said, I will be back to get this very short live started. And again, shout out to my moderator, Mom of Three on the scene. And speaking of this beautiful queen, she sent the big GG jewel my way. And I really, really appreciate that. Thank you, Mom of Three. Shout out to you. You dig? You are a true jewel in my life. You heard me? And Rebel over here drinking his water ain't helping. Oh, it ain't. It ain't. It ain't. It ain't. So, even though I am here and I am present with you all, I am going to try to give it just a few more minutes before I actually get started. So you can make yourselves at home if you would like. You know, you can come back if you would like. However, floats your boat. But I do have to use the restroom. I will not hold it, even in a short live. So we gonna go do what we gotta do. You heard me? Welcome in to my beautiful Gigi sister, the second Gigi sister in the building on this live, beautiful queen. Thank you so much for joining me on this live. I am, however, going to put y'all on mute real quick so I can use the restroom, wash my hands, get back to the show. Welcome and thank you so much for being here, beautiful Tinkers, another one of my beloved Gigi sisters. Thank you for the jewel blessing to Mama Three for the second time around in this live. Thank you so very much, Sister Gal. Thank you for stopping by and showing some love as well. I really, really appreciate it. I do. We're gonna get our party started again. I ain't here to keep you long. Woo! At all. Tinkers, thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you, love. I really, really appreciate those 350 beautiful jewels. Thank you so much, the finger heart. Thank you so much. Shout out. So listen, I just came with a quick note for whoever this note is for, or whoever would like to drop, anything in the chat that goes along with what I'm saying. It could be any type of advice to any of our brothers and sisters. Feel free to join me. All right. We don't need the masses to make a point. All right. What's for us gonna be for us, and who's here is this is going to be for. Understand? So shout out to Sister Gal for showing some love to the 4-1 Wizzy. I really appreciate those that are, showing up for this positive season that I am pushing myself in. Understand? Thank you so much. It do mean the world to me. Twin Mommy is in the building, and I really, really appreciate it. Shout out. Love you all. Today's show, as you probably know from the title, is doing the work. Which is something I'm going to make kind of short, sweet, and simple. It came to my mind, no lie, after reading my cousin. Now I'm kind of in this positive thing. Of course, I was led to my cousin's channel, TC, who we all know is always dropping affirmations and things of that nature to uplift, motivate, and things of that that nature. So I am inspired and love you, cousin, so much for being who you are and spreading affirmations onto the world. So into reading those, it kind of this saying came to my mind, this sentence, this saying, this statement, this declaration of doing the work. All right. Now, the reason why it came to my mind is because I was thinking about affirmations. I was thinking about, the fact that affirmations are really considered, in a nutshell, motivating and uplifting things to say to oneself or others. You know what I'm saying? Friendly self reminders and things of that nature. Things to say into the atmosphere or even write into the atmosphere. And this is very, very good to do. All right. It's very good to speak into the atmosphere and write out the things of our heart, things that we want for ourselves, so and so forth. But something that also came to my mind, thank you so much, Mama Three. If you could hit the like button for me, I greatly appreciate it. One thing that came to my mind is to tell my people that I want to remind folks to make sure they are also doing the work, and also to reflect on yourselves. Is there something that you've been wanting to do, or something that's been on your mind to fulfill, a goal, a dream, or any of that? I really want those dream builders out there to consider what is stagnating you or stopping you from something that you've been wanting to do, or to take you to the next level, or what have you, to fulfill some part of yourself, or whatever. Really ask yourself what has been holding you back. All right. And are you really doing the work for your dreams and your aspirations? If there are some things about your nature you would like to change, are you really doing the work? It truly is a great thing to speak into the atmosphere. It is a great thing to write upon an atmosphere. But what we have to also never forget in between things is doing what needs to be done inside of the atmosphere. Shout out to Teresa Yancey in the building. So today's live is just the reminder of the doing part, the doing part, and the doing part. All right. Sometimes our dreams can be large and larger than the work to which we want to get done to achieve it. You know what I'm saying? And oftentimes it's not that life or the universe is failing us or that things aren't working in their direction, this, that, and the third. You have to know, you have to be able to match the energy and time. Has the energy and the time put in has to be as great as the dream, as the goal, as something you want to get done. Whether it's losing weight, whether it's changing a behavior, whatever it is, it takes doing. It takes doing. It takes action. All right. It's just like uh in biblical terms or whatever. It's one thing to read the Bible, quote scripture, and it's another thing to live by the Bible in action, if you will. You understand? So I don't want us to forget to for life to be something we just recite. Oh, you know, in the next 10 years I want to own this, or I want to do that, I want to have this, or I want to have that. Are you putting in the work that it's going to take to have this or to have that? You know what I mean? And making sure you're not a procrastinator, someone who is constantly saying the same things year after year, month after month. Yeah, I want to do this, and I'm going to start when this happens. I'm going to start with that and when that happens. Sometimes to really make it count, to really be for real with yourself, sometimes it takes starting something at the most uncomfortable time, the most inconvenient time, right? Waiting for the perfect moment for something to happen, or to get something done often stagnates people from executing something at all. You know, waiting for the right temperature, waiting for the perfect day, the perfect friend, the perfect man, the perfect amount of money. These things may never come. And if they don't, are you still going to seize the opportunity? Are you still going to chase your goals and your dreams? Or are you going to keep finding a reason where that dream has to be postponed and set aside? I don't want us to forget to do. All right. So I hope in this live, as we have just begun, but again, won't be here long. I see we have 20 something people here. And I hope within this chat, we have somebody in here that is ready to do something about it, whatever it is. Is there anybody in here ready to do something about it? I don't have to know what it is that you need to do or want to do, but is there somebody in the chat who is ready to do something about it? Let me know. Let me know where we at with it. Let me know. They say where two or more gather. Buttercup is in the building. Shout out to you, baby. Is there anyone amongst me ready to do something about it? Because if not, then we already know where to start. We already know where to start. If not, this ain't a forceful question. This is something you can only ask yourself. You ain't got to rush yourself. You don't have to please me. I want to know. I see Tinkers. I see Mama 3. We got 28 people in the building. Gossip and giggles. Sugar, sugar. It's good to see you. Love. It's good to see you. Is there anyone else amongst this 28 that is ready to do something about it? Whatever it is in your life, you may want to become healthier. You may want to take up a trade. You may want to start a business. You might want to write a book. You know, you might want to take up a hobby, right? You might want to learn a new language. What is that thing? Hey, Tooth Fairy, sweetheart. I hope you having a wonderful day, sugar, sugar. I hope all of you are. Let me know. I don't have to know what your thing is. If it's ready to be open for love. Have somebody broke your heart and you just shut the world off and made a declaration that, listen, my heart don't need nothing, right? I don't know what your story is and you don't know mine. All I want to know is are you ready to do something? You don't got to tell your neighbor. You don't have to tell a friend, right? I just need to know, is there someone other than myself ready to do something, right? Not just talk like they doing something, you know? I want to know, is that thing in your life, are you finally at all ready to do something? Let me know. Gossip says I do, and I'm starting ASAP. Come on. This is somebody's friendly reminder right here. All right. The masses ain't got to be ready. You heard me? I'm asking you, individuals in here. Is there something in your life you've been putting off, you've been avoiding, you've been talking about it? Are you ready to be about it? Hey, sugar. I'm done. Ah. Oh man, and welcome in, Lady Mysterious Sweetheart. Welcome in. So I'm about to take. I'm done, gossip. Go to the corners. I am done. But listen, no judgments here. You heard me? No judgments here. Ah, I am done with you. But yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. I wanted to just, like I said, be a friendly reminder today. I know, right, Mama Three? What we gonna do with it? What we gonna do? Huh? Mm, ain't nothing we can do about it. We just gotta take it in stride. You heard me? And root for it. You heard me? Just gotta be her cheerleaders. And you can do it. um, and I also want to make it clear. G and G is crazy. I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to also make it clear too that sometimes in doing something, all right, in doing something, in meeting goals or this, that, and the third, or whatever it is, sometimes the goal or moving forward could actually mean that the do is to remove something. Make sure we know what the do is. Sometimes your do may be to do nothing. Maybe nothing is your action. Maybe somebody be doing too much and not enough thinking. Some people's do maybe to sit back and think. All right. Maybe some are too quick in their actions, and their do, it could be to slow down, to center their mind and their self on something specific. Maybe somebody have too many goals, too many things, and therefore spreading themselves thin. Huh? Do can mean very many different things, right? For us as individuals. It could mean get out of a relationship. Hmm? It could mean end a relationship that mean you no good. Maybe the universe ain't going to open up certain doors because they know that you have people in your life that's going to make them become closed once they're open to you. They're going to ruin opportunities for you. Thank you, sweetheart. You know, maybe you have people in your life that's not meant to go the next level with you. Is your due to get rid of some things? Is your due to get rid of somebody? Is your due to move into a different atmosphere and space? And is that space the space of your mind or a physical space? Have you overstayed yourself in a particular area? It could be in a home. It could be tied down to a particular place where your dreams are going to struggle to come through because you can't let go of a actual physical place. Or are you trapped in your mind, in a place in your mind? So therefore, everybody's due may be very different. Thank Mama Three. Thank you so much for the floating hearts. Thank you so much, beautiful. I really appreciate you, love bug. And you know this. Thank you so much, M3. So maybe your do is different from your neighbors, right? And this is why I want us to get back to individuality for anyone that has lost their individuality and have become only what titles allow them to be. And forget that, you're every woman, you're every man. You know what I'm saying? We wear different hats, and it's okay. Are you tapping in or are you tapping out? But figure out what the do is for you. Is it to let go of something or is it to give something a chance? Let me sip my tea. Excuse me. And when it comes to your own life, it's in your own hands. Some things you have to know yourself. Some people rely too much on a neighbor to help them figure it out, a parent, a child, a spouse, or this or that or the third. When you don't even know what you want, huh? Don't get so tied up where you forget what you yourself want, and you have to go and say, should I love him, should I love him not, should I stay or should I go, should I move or should I not, should I stay at this job or should I leave? We do not need to lose sight of individuality, that your problems start with you and you yourself, your dreams, it start with you and yourself, your goals, all of that. So oftentimes I see people, especially due to social media, lose sight of their own individuality to where they have to go to someone else who barely even know them to figure their own shit in their own life out. I am doing this live to give a friendly reminder to don't forget who you are, fitting in with what the world wants you to be or what the world sees you as. Don't forget what your own dreams and aspirations are, and don't forget what your do is. Let me slow down and give thanks. Hold on one second. Yeah. Let me see. Tinker says, I went into the new year setting my intentions and my vision for the year with my vision board. Thus far, everything is on track, but it took for me to let go of foolishness and focus. Listen, Linda, shout out, Tinkers, and thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you for the blessing. Miss Rolanda, happy Friday, sweetheart. And thank you so much for the blessing, love. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me see. Um, all that I'm learning in this season. Me too, Tinkers. I'm enjoying the things I'm learning too. Okay, making sure I didn't miss nothing. Hold on. Okay. So hold on. Okay, let me see. Okay, so yes, this type of stuff to me is very important because it when you know that how easy it is to lose sight of yourself, to really not when you go to people too much to advise your life, some people, we can't forget too that some people will advise you based on their own experience. Sometimes a person could be close to you but um not have had your experience before, not be faced with your particular problems or your blessings. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing to get advice on your for yourself and stuff like that. If you will find yourself in a confused state, hey, Miss Tania Love, or something like that. But also, I mean, just don't get so far in to depending on others that you no longer can recognize your own wants, which your own path, right? You're really relying on people to carve out a path for you. All right. You're not gonna stay on track when you are, walking on someone else's path, carved path. You're not going to stay grounded. Definitely have to let go of things that don't mean you well. Absolutely, Miss Tonia. Absolutely. So I just wanted to really remind people that that is also part of the do. The do doesn't necessarily mean move on something forward. Sometimes it means to stop doing a particular thing. It could mean stop second guessing yourself, or excuse me, or it could mean learn to um evaluate situations more. So I want to break people out of thinking that everyone's due is the same. It's not, right? Some people might need certain things for a distraction, might need a distraction in their life, to get their mind off something it doesn't need to be on, and to break their mind away from something. Sometimes distractions are good, and sometimes distractions are bad when you get so lost in them, you're not getting your shit done. You understand? And that's on the set. Sometimes people are in bad relationships where the universe is ready to bless you, but because the universe knows you're with someone who's going to tear your blessing down, somebody that's going to not appreciate a home that you've built, so they're going to punch holes in a wall. They're going to tear down doors when you want space, when you want to be alone, and they don't want you to be alone. They want to be antagonizing you, or this, that, and the third, and rip doors off the hinges, punch holes in the wall, things of that nature, right? Sometimes people have people in their lives that don't care about their works, don't care about how hard someone has worked for something, will get mad and cause havoc at a mate's job or something because you don't want to be with somebody no more, and then therefore they trying to take what you got and make you have to start at some low place because they're at a low place. Pay attention and don't let somebody talk you out your drawers now prematurely, okay? But it's very important to know what the universe needs you to do, because I'm telling you, a lot of the times, just we could be blessed, and we are blessed, but sometimes we have the door closed on even greater blessings. We think this is the end all be all. This is as good as it gets. You never know how good it's gonna get until you make sure you are leaving doors open for blessings and closing doors on things that curses your life, right? Absolutely. part of also doing part of also doing what you want for your life, whether it's peace, positivity, or whatever, right? You have to surround yourself in that type of thing. If you're trying to create a let me see, if you're trying to create an up and stuck atmosphere, then that's what you have to create. If you want to create a positive atmosphere, that's what you have to create. Everything in your life has to have balance, and I think that's something we're also losing sight of. Because a lot of times when we engage in chaos, it then puts chaotic things on our minds. Therefore, it's making us speak chaotic words. You know what I'm saying? Being in angered atmospheres, you can become angry. You can speak with a slithering tongue and speak with a malicious tongue or angry tongue and this, that, and the third. So we can't just you know, we have to control those types of things too. You know what I mean? Some things may be good in doses, but definitely have to have balance. You definitely have to have balance and just, learn to um what I like to say is take stock or take inventory on your life, like literally. Even if you have to write it down, take inventory on your life. Take inventory on your spirit. Sometimes, instead of doing the research on someone else, we sometimes need to research ourselves. It's always good to reevaluate yourself every so often because we're ever growing, we're ever changing. All right. So we have to sometimes regroup ourselves, recenter. You know what I mean? Hey, Terry, good to see you. It is good to see you on the scene, you dig? Shout out! And I assume this is a new page of yours. Thank you for dropping that copyright disclaimer. I think this is Terry's new page. If you would like to keep up with the who's and the what's around these YouTube streets, I'm sure he will be continuing to do what he do, no matter what page he's doing it from. And shout out to you for what you do. Thank you so much, Terry. But make sure if y'all would like to, you subscribe to Downright Terry. Let me see. One second, y'all. All right. But yes, in which this live also being which I'm 34 minutes in, haven't quite struck an hour yet. I'm going to go ahead and piece this together as well. Which resonates with this too is also knowing which type of person you are. And knowing is the first step, all right? And accepting what you know is the second part. So if you are a chaotic person or whatever, you can expect chaos. All right. If you are a peaceful person, then you can expect that you'll find yourself in peaceful atmospheres and things of that nature. The first step is to know what these things are. A lot of people claim, peace and this, that, and the third without even knowing what peace actually looks like or feels like. It's just often a word used like, I have a peaceful world, I have a peaceful life. But you have to ask yourself, do you? To actually be at peace, it includes multiple things being at peace. It's not just your words. Maybe you speak peacefully, right? Hey, that's something that can be learned to speak calmly, right? To speak calm and to be calm is two different things. To um live calmly or live at peace and to speak peace are two different things. The words that equate to peace are words such as like centered, kindness. um it's peace is not recognized as the person where trouble is absent. Is actually recognized as a person who, when in trouble, when they fall into troubled spaces. They remain centered, they remain calm, they focus on the problem. They don't let, excuse me, they focus on the solution. They don't let the problem make them get ahead of themselves or lose their head. Because peaceful people often move in logic. You know what I mean? If it's not logic to solve anything with sadness or to solve anything in anger, it's about being tranquil and balanced at all times, in a place of understanding how things work. And when you understand how things work, you actually have more accurate feelings about when things occur, whether it be death, whether it be sickness, whether it be losing something. Um, you become a person, a peaceful person is often an optimistic person, a logical person, and someone that can manage to see the silver lining in things, you know. Um, hey, Latoya, sweetheart, good to see you, love, and welcome. If you do so like what's being said here and would like to hit the like button for the 4-1 Wizzy, I would greatly appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much. So again, you know, having a peaceful life is it's void of anger, is, you know, just like Corinthians, it says in Corinthians about love, you know, peace and love often goes can go hand in hand, you know what I'm saying? um in the way that it is described of not being boisterous, not being angered. You know what I'm saying? Peace and anger doesn't go together. You know what I'm saying? Peace and meanness doesn't go together, right? Peace and manipulations doesn't go together. So I want people to be careful of their own words and also other people's words. Don't be fooled by other people's words and don't let your own fool you. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled because you know, it's a lot of uncalmed people that is surrounding themselves, you know, that people surround themselves with, and unbalanced people, you know, unbalanced lives, unbalanced mentalities, unbalanced beliefs, unbalanced morals. It's a lot of things said, but you have to learn to evaluate, match people words with their actions. Do people say they love or do people show love? Do a person say they care or do a person show they care? You know? And you also have to say these things about, ask yourself these things. Am I a good person or do I say I'm a good person? Am I trying to make a difference or do I just say, you know, these things? So I think, you know, YouTube, the world, and our families and everything, it really does, it's really much much better when all parties fully deal with their truest self, you know what I mean? I think to avoid changing things, to avoid doing better, we just find who's worse, we just find something, somebody living worse, somebody that has less, so and so forth. Hey, Miss Toya, baby, we find someone who speaks worse, right? Use worse language, has worse behavior, and it makes us feel like we have much more less to change, right? But it says something when it's considering the source. If we were evaluating ourselves without comparing ourselves to the next, but just off of what truly makes a person good, what truly makes a person kind or at peace, or whatever, what have you. Are you that person? If you were to write a list off what you think makes your neighbor a good person, do we make the checklist? So a lot of people around me, I encourage to really tap more back into self evaluations, I see we often get lost in evaluating the next person, the next channel, the next life, the next child, the next spouse, this, that, and the third. But really, we need to be evaluating ourselves. You know, we really do. I remember a friend saying, what they want in a man. I want a man that has this, that, and the third. I want a man that has their own bag. I want a man that's well to do. I want a man that has their own home. A man that, has a this plan and this type of nest egg. But are you that type of woman that type of man will want? Huh? Huh? Thank you, Toya, baby. I really appreciate you, dog. Thank you so, so very much. Thank you, love. Start with the man in the mirror. You better say it, Tinkers. You better say it. We often people will say what type of position in life that I should be the manager, right? People will feel like because they had a place here or they've done this or they've done that, I should be running things. I should da 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 da, right? Because they were excellent at being an employee, right? It wasn't because they showcased management skills, right? See, managing things is doing just that. It's overseeing things, right? It's overseeing things. It's making sure everything is the things that make up the well-oiled machine is well oiled, right? See, you can be a good employee and not be a very good boss, right? You can be a good renter and not be a good owner. You can be a good follower and might not be suitable to lead. We also have to be careful that sometimes that's also why certain people fail, right? See, this world and life was built off of should be off of order. The universe itself is built off of order, right? But once we become entitled to not have order, follow order, when you have uh uh everyone feeling they deserve to be a leader, but don't evaluate what leadership entails, huh? I often tell people there's a big difference between a boss and a leader. A big, big difference. Some people want to call themselves leaders, but have more of a boss mentality. And you know, but leaders don't act like bosses, but bosses can have leadership skills. But the leaders don't tap into being bosses. The difference is if bosses are types of people who will delegate orders, don't mind telling you what to do that makes their life grow, right? Hmm? Giving order that keeps them on top, right? See, one thing about it, okay, leaders build other leaders, right? Bosses do not build other bosses. You either gotta want to be a boss or you don't. You cannot be built into a boss, because see, this takes being a certain type, truly a certain type of person. You can be a boss and a leader. You can be a boss and a leader because you can a boss can lead their staff into what to do. They can walk you in the room and then leave you there, then leave you there to carry the weight and the this, that, and the third. A boss can have you do the work and they get recognized for it. But see, a leader is all about guiding you to where they are. A leader is a person who have it in mind that their leadership is for a season, and it's not about being the only person who leads, right? It's about having someone who wants to be a leader follow your steps and you guide them so they can be a great leader like you. Bosses just want to be the only boss. Bosses don't groom you to take over their businesses, okay? Mm-mm. No, 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 no. There's only so far you're going to be able to go under a boss. You can still be connected to the followers, can still be always be connected to the leaders. The leaders can always be connected to the followers. Like other leaders can stay connected to other leaders, and so forth. A leader can blend in by way of look with the followers. A leader's goal ain't to look different than the followers. That's never a leader's goal. See, why do you think a boss comes in dressed in a suit and tie and the employees are in uniforms? Because you are to know your position, chains of commands, and things of that nature. A leader doesn't need the world to know that they're leading. They need the ones that are following them to know the purpose of where they're being led to. They want to make sure you know how to lead the ones that are coming behind you. Their goal ain't to keep you a follower. It's to lead until you can decipher if you need to remain in the position of of one who follows, and are you just good at being led, or are you good at leading? Because being a leader doesn't have an ego. Being a boss does. hmm Being a boss has a separate uniform. I ain't talking about the manager. I'm not talking about the supervisor. All right. I'm talking about the owner, the boss man, the one everybody answers to, is often not dressed like the employees, often isn't wearing something that represents their own company. You heard me? They're not even wearing their own company's tags and labels. Hmm? They don't have to wear a name tag because everyone knows who the boss is. hmm Yeah, because the boss is going to look very different. Their car is going to be different. Their home is going to be different. Their outfit is going to be different. Their pockets is going to be different. True indeed. Because leadership has nothing to do with riches. Being a boss is all about money. It requires no care. It requires not wanting to see other people grow and level up. That's not what you need to be a boss. But to want to see people get to their full potential, you got to be a good leader. Bosses don't care about how far you can make it in their company. There'll always be somebody to hire that can hold position to get something done. You are not an individual when it comes to being under a boss. You are part of the bottom line. Hey Mel, hey Miss Rosalind, it's good to see you, love. Shout out to y'all. You are part of the bottom line. hmm Life is full of positions of who are you and who are you built to be. If you are not okay with following order, you could never be a good leader. You heard me? See, those beneath a boss don't even matter except what they're gonna do. What you say don't matter, your feelings don't matter, none of that. I'm just telling you the truth. This is just about life things, all right? I don't make the rules, I just know them. So you have to know everybody ain't supposed to be leaders, right? Everybody may want to, but you're not going to be good at it if that's not how you carry yourself in regular life, you know? It's not on you, it's in you. You can learn how to be a boss and run a company. You can learn all there is to know about money, but it's a lot more than that that comes to true leadership. And I'm going to tell you one of the most important to be a good leader, right? To lead other people into a good direction, you must first have overcome going into a few bad directions yourself. You would have first had to learn some things yourself. You would have first had to learn how to be a good follower yourself. One who doesn't respect uh taking orders should not make people respect them giving them. That's how I feel about it. Absolutely. You know? So this live here is just for tapping back into self, asking yourself these questions, and really not forgetting about your own life, your own shit, your own dreams, your own aspirations, and literally pushing yourself to the greatest of your ability. And we all fall short. We all take breaks. We all got off. But it's about when is the time to reel yourself in. When is it the time to start doing more than verbal talk and putting forth the action? Do people only hear what you're saying or do they see what you're saying? Huh? Because, hey, Miss Keita, baby, a lot of real things are unspoken. True wealth is unspoken. Being truly a good person really goes unspoken. These things are radiated, not told. It's not told by its keeper. If you gotta go and say, "Can't you see that I'm beautiful? Don't you know that I'm beautiful?" Well, that's enough said that you don't know that you're beautiful. You shouldn't have to show shit to prove intelligence. Intelligence is all in the way that you move. Life decisions. There's a lot of things that are done and unspoken that shows intelligence, shows the inner glow. You do not see uh wealthy people saying, "I'm a wealthy man. I'm a wealthy woman." You don't really see that from the Rihannas and this, that, and the third. Why? They ain't gotta tell you, because you already know. The Chinese people don't waste money on advertising. Why? Because they believe in their product. You know they exist. You know they're there. You know they're an option. They believe in it enough where they don't have to put a friendly reminder out there. They don't have to remind you that they're there. Not at all. Mm-mm. Why you think nobody mind back in the day not sitting in Chinese places, and most people, it was really delivery or takeout when it came to Chinese places. A lot of people really don't sit down. Like, if you think of the past 20 years or so, most people little favorite pull up Chinese joints ain't where you go and sit down and eat. Half the time they don't even be having their tables empty. They booths empty and shit. They'll have a plant on their booth tables and shit. Ain't even for really sitting and chilling. It's for calling in an order, going to pick it up, or getting it delivered. They don't have to have you sit and patronize their places to make their money. And don't. See, when you have that way of thinking, you can maximize your life and yourself. When you actually are the part, it never has to be said. It really doesn't. And damn sure not repeated. It just is. You know? Joyful people are normally unfuckwithable. And they don't have to say, "I'm unfuckwithable because I'm happy, or I'm a joyous person." No. You just know, damn, they must be super unbothered, because I mean, shit, if you ain't got nothing bothering your life that's important in your real life, why in the hell would you subject to taking on being bothered in some shit that you don't even have to choose to be in, a part of, listen to? Look at you, take YouTube for instance. You ain't Everybody's in control of where their channels go and for how long. Truth be told. Truth be told. You know, people don't decide things for themselves anymore. They put up with things that are not that their spirit ain't happy with, because why? They're choosing other things over their spirit. Let the truth be told. Every single day. Every single day you see how people will their mouths say I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person, but you cannot be what you say if your actions are is what's quick to show opposite, you know. If all you see is chaos, I mean, it's a waste of time to say, I mean, I'm a peaceful person in real life. You can't be peaceful when it's too easy to turn to chaos. People second question doing good and don't give it a second thought to say or do something fucked up. See, when you stop playing and pretending and can take accountability for even your own shit, that's when it hits different. That's when you know what you either gonna be a part of. You gonna either uh you know play with yourself or you not, and by that I mean you gonna play off your own top or you not. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's just the way it go. It's really I'm really tapping into this place where, words are tools, you know what I'm saying? And they should be used for certain reasons, not just frivolously, they're really not things that really should be wasted. You know what I mean? They really should not. They really should not. And we can't waste them on our lives either, because one thing I do know is invitation. Just like in your own home, I mean in your own homes, you can invite danger by way of your heart. You can fall in love with an abuser. You can fall in love with someone who wants to take you for all you got. You can invite somebody's evil deeds into your life. Evil deeds come with the evil spirit. Invitation, which is another live perhaps we can do soon. We have to worry about that invite too. What are you inviting into your life, into your homes, into your mind, into your eye gate, ear gate? And why do we play with that so much? Why do we know our spirit doesn't feel right, but we're just ever so present? We take in what we don't even really enjoy. We take in what may make your mind and body cringe a little bit, but the need to be present, the need to be in the know. I'm guilty, you guilty. Together, we are guilty. See, I ain't pointing the finger nowhere without making sure I done already observed the three pointed back at myself. Now, I ain't guilty of everything, but I'm guilty of some things when it comes playing off my own top. When it comes being in things and in atmospheres that even if it's for that moment, even if it's in a time, I'm guilty of being in places where my spirit wasn't sitting right. Whether it was in longevity or whether it was just for a moment, it doesn't matter. I failed myself if I didn't remove myself. If I made that situation bigger than my own feelings, bigger than my own beliefs or morality, I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty of setting aside myself for to serve us. I'm guilty of setting aside certain sides of myself to embrace certain sides I didn't and don't even want to become a part of myself, that I don't even want to tap into. We all have good, bad, we all have, you know, whatever in us and this, that, and the third. But that type shit that I've accepted within myself, no, I did myself a disservice. It's one thing, the first way to be controlled by others is when when you do not recognize not having control of yourself. And sometimes we be blinded because we feel we have this in control, we have that in control, but we don't be fully in control. We might control where our cars go. You might control where your feet go, but we don't always control where our mind go, our words go, our actions, hell, even our channels. Because if we did, we wouldn't so easily, move how we move sometimes. And that's the truth. It's easy to you might not see it because in your mind you like nobody tell me what to do. But if you stepping outside of doing what you as an individual would do in any normal basis, you are placing the control of your actions over subjects, whether it's over beefs, whether it's whatever. Hell, hey, Shaquitly, baby. Oftentimes, I've heard many of us say we're taking a break from this or we're taking a break from that. That sentence alone is an invitation back to what you're taking a break from. When we really ask ourselves, well, why do we need a break? Right? How many people have needed a break from sagas and sectors? Huh? You ain't got to tell me. I've been here. Hey, Miss Eugenia. How are you, beautiful? Always a pleasure to greet you, love. How many? Hey, Sunshine Love. At some point, so many people have said, I take a break from all this evil. I got to take a break from all this darkness. I got to take a break from all this drama. Why do we break? Because anything that truly, you know, we should, how much do our actions where we put ourselves, how important is it? How much do we need it if it's something to need a break from? Sometimes we can need a break from work, but it's something that we exert our energy to that guarantees you what? A check. Now it's more than just CCs here. It can't be CCs without supporters. So everyone's here together, right? But imagine if a job that may pay you what you want, you're fine with the pay, you fine with the job, but work is work regardless, right? It takes your time away from doing nothing because you got to be doing something or whatever. But you get paid. You get paid or rewarded, guaranteed for the time you put in to something that may sometimes deplete your energy, that does guarantee to take your time, right? But there is guaranteed reward for the trade-off of work. Thank you so much, Sunshine. I really appreciate the silver star, baby. Thank you. At the end of the day, people vacation and all of this because sometimes you need a day off from even the place that pays you. Mhm. But what happens when you deplete your energy and your spirit in a place that rewards you nothing. Not everyone gets paid here. Not everyone gets paid well here. Some people give here. Some people support here. Some people is here. Blase, blase, blah. But what happens when the atmosphere becomes a place of depletion? What happens when it becomes a place that feels wearisome? What happens when it becomes a place feels the need to be protected from? What happens when the place invades lives and spaces? What happens when we're in a place that uses and abuses? What happens when the place becomes evil, malicious? What happens when it becomes dirty and nasty? People complain in such a place about what somebody else's home look like, what somebody else's this, that, and look like. But it looks like, I mean, if you were to look around, just taking this space that, a lot of us found ourselves in for years, if it could be compared to a neighborhood, this place has roaches. This place has rats. This place has hood rats. This place has drama. This place has thievery. This place has manipulations. This place has abuse. This place has threats. This place has a lot of things in it that if it was to be a neighborhood, I don't think it would be put in the suburban or suburbia category. I don't really think it's been a a, a community to which a code is needed. I don't even think a fence is there. I don't think there's a doorman or a security guard. I don't think that the popos rush here if there was an emergency in the neighborhood, you know. I think the firemen move a little slow when they realize it's self-made fires, things of that nature. And this is just the truth about cats and dogs. And also just a small example, using this place as an example. There's nothing sophisticated about it. It's nothing um it's nothing glittery or shiny. It's dark, you know. When I think back to this area of places, which when I speak of, it will be from a learning experience only or whatnot. When I look back at such places, I tell you, you know, what it had become does not describe the life anyone claims to have. And that's something I had to realize. Like, uh-uh, mm-mm, mm. This is not a place where you have to do anything. And that's when you get to a place where you realize that a lot of control was lost from a lot of us because absolutely this isn't it's crazy how you can get so sucked into a world you feel like, not myself, but maybe many feel like it's the place for secrets. It's the place for personal things. It's the place to truly share, wear your heart on your sleeve and share this and do that. It's not. This is a smaller version of the world out there. It's filled with different people, some that care and some that don't. Some that are nice and some that are cruel. Some that are jealous and some that are humble and not. It's not the sector where you can change the sector. You can only change your position within the sector. That's it, that's all. It's not the place to want your CCs to change or want the supporters to change. It's the place where, in order for change to happen, it's going to have to be within yourself. That's it. That's all. The masses might not join you. So if that's what you need to press forward, you might as well just sit still. You understand? And I hope this resonates with, somebody out there that may just have forgotten themselves, may have just forgotten that they are strong enough, may have forgotten that, before this world of groups, alliances, and whatever else that you were more choosy in your life. Maybe somewhere we've let our guards down. Maybe somewhere we have lost sight of reality. That we have to bear in mind. This world is no different from the world off screen. There's good people here and there's bad people here. You are going to have to use discernment and tap into your higher selves to shield yourself and to make good decisions about who's supposed to be in your life. Because making bad decisions on screen can affect things that occur, can trickle to your, hey cousin TC, I love you. It can trickle to your real life, you know. It can stress your mind out, make you feel like you in a tug of war over, because you've changed yourself, because you've aligned yourself against yourself to be for something or someone. You let go of yourself. You got unaligned to be aligned. Don't let that happen to yourself. It's quite and very important, you know? And it's people that are fine with being lost. It's people that are fine being misguided, misled, whatever. You can't save them all, and it's not our job to. But it's your job not to let yourself get lost in that mix. Right. He said here snoring all through my damn show anyway. This like his damn name, Al Bundy, and some more shit. I swear for collard greens until you pointed at him. It was I'm telling you, midday, fresh off the factory. Do you hear me? Oh my goodness gracious. He don't give a damn about these affirmations. You hear me? Ah. He down there store like, I heard him get this positive shit over with. Oh snap, babe, you just choked me. Oh we male mama three. That's y'all nephew. You hear me? He just sleeping straight through these affirmations. You heard me? He said uplift this motherfucking nap. Okay. He said, I got a dream for your ass. Oh, fucking God. Oh, child. Look. Oh, child. Let me get my voice back voicing. Cause listen, Chronicles. Look, look, the three aunties in a row. You see that? The three mod aunts and shit. Listen, Linda. He down there store like, listen, Linda. Now, when you roasting and shit, now it keep me lit and active. Ah, damn, I can't even keep Rebel subscription. Ain't this a bitch? Hold up. Who child about to choke? Okay, hold on. I gotta get my shit together. Y'all, Buck started this because I wasn't paying his ass no attention that he pointed at him. I'm telling you, child. Oh, I got like somebody granddaddy and shit. Or somebody Uncle Frank and shit. The fuck? Oh, child. Okay, so let me recenter myself. Oh, man. So basically, the moral of the story is peace sounds like rebel. That's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is, peace does, peace has a sound, and you can't refer to dog if you would like to know what that sound is. It means that even when your owner is talking and trying to drop jewels in the chat to, her constituency, peace looks like when you don't give a fuck. Positive or negative, you just don't give a fuck. Okay. That's what peace looks like. All right. It looks like wake me up when it's snack time. Okay. Peace looks like whatever the fuck you talking about. Just her up. So I just wanted y'all to know, it may not have a look, but it certainly has a sound. And there's our example down there on the floor. Okay. Let me see. And also during this moment of laughter and this conversation between husband and I and the aunties, I have you all to know that as he sits here and turned his ears on, but his body is still in peace mode, he has not changed position, moved a head or an ear or a paw. Okay, during this 5-minute broadcast, name was spoken at least twice. All right. There was nothing. There may be been have it may have been a movement or two within the eye socket. I just don't hold me to that. So yeah, that's about where we are with him. And yeah, it's pretty much like we're not here. If anybody don't know what no fucks given looks like, here's your moment. Hey guys, Child D, how are you? Miss Eugenia said I had my phone down, but you are teaching, honey. I'm in the bushes, but this is some good soul food. Thank you, Miss Eugenia, for standing in my amen corner. You hit me. Because my goal is each one, teach one, guaranteed to reach what? One. You heard me? One. You heard me? If I can change one life, that might be the one that changed many. Therefore, I would be changing many as well. By changing one, I could change many. You heard me? By changing one, I could change many. And by changing myself, I can change one. Ha ha! Let me see. But yes. So we gonna let that moment of rebel to wear off. Cause I sidebar got my laugh on messing with my husband and the my aunts in the chat. Oh, Miss Eugenia, thank you for the $100 super sticker. Says for this good soul food. Shout out. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that very generous blessing. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If I had 1,000 tongues, I could not thank you enough. Thank you so much. In fact, listen, I'm gonna let that blessing marinate. I'm gonna let that blessing marinate. Since you sent that on the set, and since you put that blessing on the set, I gotta let that one marinate. You heard me? So it does cover the chat, so I'm unable to see y'all. But thank you so very much, Miss Eugenia. And it's a true sign that, like I always say, big things come in small packages. You know what I mean? For real, for real. Straight like that, you know? It's, the same blessings that can come from many can come from a few. You heard? Ain't that right, babe? Period. That's on the what, babe? On the set, you did. Bye. Thank you, Miss Eugenia. I really love it. Your side of town gives Jill Scott, Maxwell, etc. I love it. Oh gosh, Child D. That's dope. That's dope. Let me see. Thank you so much. My heart is full. And thank you so much to my other beautiful loves. Thank you, Mama Three and Tinkers, Sister Gal, Mama Three quite a few times, Tinkers Baby, Rolanda, Toya Wicks, Sunshine, and beautiful Miss Eugenia. Thank y'all for being beautiful souls. Thank you so much. I ain't gonna sing. I ain't gonna sing my song and get all up in y'all ear, but I'm gonna do this. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all know the rest. Y'all know the rest. Let me see here as I take us back. This has been a great interlude. This has been a great little interlude. Let me see. Let me see. Thank you guys, Child D, for following Mama Three's channel. Thank you. Ooh, a cold one. How'd you pull that off?
No, it ain't cold. I put it in the freezer for a little bit. It ain't cold. You want me
I grab some ice. 1 second, guys. Let me get me a little something to wet my whistle. Wet my whistle. Excuse me, babe. I was thirsty. It was an emergency. This ain't my glass.
No.
I thought the weight felt different. Vitamin here. Another. I picked that one off the grace of God. Thank you. Coming, guys. I had to wet my whistle. Tinkers, you laughing at me? Cause I gave you a little him. A little him and hum. Period. Okay. They say make a joyful noise, all right? It was nothing that said it had to sound pretty. You just got to say it with joy in your heart. You hear me? Oh, see here. You said, uh-huh. All right, let me sip a little bit of this before I give a wrap up. Mm, that is delicious. Mm, that hit all my spots. Mm, even some spots I didn't even know I had. Mm, good googly moogly. Mm. Bang, bang. Woo, child. I gotta let that marinate all in my flavor buds, cause good lord, I'm coming, y'all. Mm, 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 mm. That was good. Anywho, you guys, and again, thank you all so much for loving up on me. That's really, really special. Thank you so much, Miss Eugenia. I really appreciate your generous blessing and the generosity of each and every cheerful giver in the chat. Thank you so, so much. Um So again, the purpose of this live and many others that I will do will just be a place where for some that want to recharge together and just be a friendly reminder and a different type of support system to each other. Um, outside of other things and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And this is, whatever I got going on here has nothing to do with not enjoying things as we enjoy things when it's enjoyable things type thing. But I am going to do my best to be a friendly reminder to try to guard your spirit and your inners more. Try to make sure that you are putting who you really are to the forefront of your decision making and things of that nature, and knowing that supporting others, whether it's supporting me, whether it's supporting it's not even about this saga, anywhere you are, just remember that to support others should not be forgetting to support yourself, or in trade of supporting who you are. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not operating in your true self when making decisions and what you allow yourself to tap into, or who you are, what is a big part of what you run to, what you avoid, what you participate in, what you hear, what you see, what you listen to, and things of that nature. And when certain things become the norm, and once we see certain things as the norm in our lives, that's when we have to start evaluating. Like if it no longer, if it's when it doesn't, when that is one thing to be places, but it's another to feel nothing. It's another to not cringe on cringe-worthy things. It's another to um y'all know, I ain't gotta go too deep too far, but saying that the worst part of it is to see wrong, or to just not feel anymore. You know what I'm saying? To let things become so much about entertainment that we forget what makes sense, that we forget what we would teach against. And no, anything that we would not want to see our loved ones, grown or not grown, involved in or saying, and what we would never be caught alive saying around people that really know us. It shows, it will show you if you are changing yourself on the internet. And are you really this person, or are you really the person your people know? Or is that just what you showcase and you're really, you know, bring out your real self here? Because there is no difference in the two. Your morals should always be intact. Either way it go. Hold on, y'all. Thank you, Miss Brenda. Thank you so much. Thank you. That really means a lot and inspires me. Thank you so much. Both inspires and motivates. Thank you so much. This live has been full of all kinds of blessings, you know, from verbal ones to um financial ones, all of the above. Your time and presence. Thank you. For real, for real. Let me see. Hold on one second. Yes, Tink Tink. And thank you so much, Toya. Thank you for those words. Thank you, Mama Three. Thank you, family. Um, but yes, you know, I these are things, you guys, that as I recognize and I do work on myself, it's really what I want to showcase and show. It's not just about me being of some type of higher level, it's because I want to go to higher levels. There's levels that I was spiritually, and some more things that have doled itself out, because what you tap into, it can start to take over you. And that's how you start to operate. Not necessarily, you don't have to be out every, you know, operating in evil, or it doesn't have to mean that operating outside of yourself means that you are not a good person or you're just moving in evil. No, it could just means sometimes you can find yourself doing things that, you know, you really not too comfortable doing, or being a part of, or speaking about, or hearing, or whatever, that it becomes what's trending. It becomes to where we don't even recognize when it's not of us. We don't even recognizing when things that we've become accustomed to, things that would have normally made us cringe or feel kind of not so good inside. You know what I mean? And being afraid to really express that. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you're not stepping up for yourself. So it's okay to be anywhere you want to be, whether it's peace, whether it's chaos, or somewhere in between. But whatever it is, you don't want to, again, make these types of decisions. It's almost like uh someone going to a party or whatever that may not be, you know, you have all kinds of different parties. You got raves, you got dance parties, hell, you got drug parties, you got all kind of shit, you know. Well, why would a person that don't indulge and pop this or pop that or do this or do that want to be where these things are being done, right? It's you entering into an atmosphere that does not serve you, and you have to ask yourself why. Because if it's not serving you, then it's an action being done solely on someone else, because someone else wants you there, because somebody else da 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 da, right? And these little steps can shape us into we not realizing that our steps, which is why I wanted to do a live one day, also called Footsteps. But a lot of the times I be wanting to separate things, now end up bunching it all together and just hope you get it. So work with me and I love you. However, um, let me see here. Let me catch up. Miss Eugenia said, what you feed will grow and what you starve will cease to grow. Ooh, be mindful of what you feed. Powerful live. Come through, Miss Eugenia. Absolutely. Tinker said, whatever you are giving your attention to can take over your spirit and can cause you to become that very thing. Ooh, you better preach. You better preach. Huh? If you, I mean, and these things are so important for somebody. Trust me, I don't believe in happenstance. I believe in cause and effect. I do not believe that things, excuse me, I do not believe that yes, things happen by um you know coincidence or things of that nature, by happenstance. I believe everything is cause and effect. Everything. How they say what you do today shapes your tomorrow. What you do that morning shapes your night, shapes your day. Everything is cause and effect. Straight like that. It's really no such thing as any question not having an answer. It's just about finding it. Nothing ever not really makes sense when you deal with the facts, when you take things for exactly what it is, not to try to make it fit what's going to make you feel better about something or whatever. See, we get shaped into certain feelings that become words that we get used to. This shit wild. Is it? Yeah, it could be wild. But I don't even understand why they did me that way. Well, is it surprising or is it just that we missed something? Is it that we overlooked something? Huh? I do so good at my job. Why would the boss want to let me go? Well, maybe you missed the secret relationship they were forming with someone else that gained the position for a different reason. Maybe you missed it. Maybe so many things have question marks because we're not paying attention. Life starts making a lot of sense once we truly start with self. People don't like to do it because it's one of the hardest things when you've lost it. The harder looking at self is the further away you've come from yourself. All right. I hope I made that make sense. The harder it is to recognize and find yourself shows you how far away from yourself you traveled. It's the same with God. The more challenging, if you stepped away from your spirituality or your religion or God or what have you, the harder it is to find your way back is the further you stepped away when you want to return. Right? Ain't it the same thing as home? The further away from home you travel, the more expensive it can be. The more gas you use, the more wear and tear on the car. That's the same as life. The longer you avoid starting on your dreams and goals, the harder it's going to be for you to execute it. All of this stuff works hand in hand. Hey, that one beautiful. Good to see you. This all works truly hand in hand, you know? And I'm enjoying a journey of re-getting to know myself. I'm enjoying a journey that is about what I want to see in myself, you know? Um, becoming who it is that you truly either truly are deep down or who you want to be. Um when you're really tapped into it, it's something you don't have to tell. You don't have to tell somebody what your dreams are because um a person knows where your focus is. Really think about that. Really think about that. The things that are important to you. These are the things that become the front of your mind, the front of your conversation, the front of your actions is what you start building your days around, your life around. Think about it now. I ain't trying to make nobody cringe in here, but I'm just telling you, very few can handle the this type of shit. That's why I know whoever here sitting through this live, you somebody special. Cause see, you can't listen to no shit like this from a person like me who is constantly in her season of reflecting, reevaluations, redirections, and things like that. It's hard to sit amongst a person like me. Because these kind of conversations will make you cringe when you're not ready. When you're not ready to change something, when you're not ready to start something, when you're not ready to let go of something, when you're not ready to become something, when you're not ready for the next level, when you're not ready for greatness, when you are not ready to get prepared. Shit like this gonna make you cringe. Shit like this gonna run you the hell away. Things like this is gonna show you where you are lined up. And it ain't about being lined up with me. It's about aligning with yourself. Like I said at the beginning of this live. Hmm. Absolutely. As long as those around us have lost sight of themselves too, it becomes comfortable not to even acknowledge when you are losing who you are, when there's so much you could be getting done, and how when if you can compare your life from before this stuff, or what, if just using this as an example, and whatever it is you had going on or whatever, like really evaluate, you know. Have you lost more of yourself than you gained? And whatever else you need to evaluate. Did you stop evaluating that the people that you aligned yourself on YouTube, does it match the type of people you would align yourself with in your real life? Hmm. It really truly starts with us. Every mistake, everything, anything lost, gain, right, wrong, or indifferent comes from a decision made. There's no such thing as wrong place at the wrong time. It might not be right. It might be wrong, but it still comes from every choice we make with every minute of the hour. Accidents don't happen. Something has to happen for, God forbid, a child to mistakenly, or shall we say mistakenly, drink poison, drink some cleaning products, huh? It don't happen by happenstance. It happens because somewhere there was a careless move. It was a cause that created the effect of a child being poisoned because of the cause of what? A loose top? Was it because cleaning supplies was set too low in a cabinet that was too accessible? These are causes that leads to an effect. Did a motorcyclist get in an accident because someone just so happened to do this or do that? Was it the cause of someone being drunk? Was it the cause of the trying to get home because it's raining? The ground is slick. What's the cause? Switching lanes too quickly. Getting cut off. It's always a cause. Nothing is truly mysterious about cause and effect. What causes you to fail? Not passing. Hmm? How can how can love find somebody that never go nowhere? Oh, I'll never find love. Well, you only go to your homegirl house and don't nothing good come through them doors. So is it that you never have no good luck with love, or is the cause because you don't go where love is going to find you? Not because you're going to places specifically for this matter, but because you can't be seen or found when you're not available to be found or seen. If this makes sense. You can't be mad at somebody else getting a position you was too scared to apply for. That was the cause of your fear. The effects was that you were passed over because you didn't even apply. So often it is easy to blame this, blame that. I didn't make it because I was stuck in a bad relationship. Though that is sad, it's still the effects of your own choice. Causes come from choices. So to speak. It's a choice to not figure a way out. It's a choice to not turn a sad situation into triumph. See, this is when we start making sense of our lives and start making a difference in our lives. When we take control, when we understand our own movements, instead of blaming other people's footsteps, other people's paths, other people's choices. We have to start with self. What am I doing or not doing? It's not the abusive man's fault. It's the decision to start at, just as an example, for any fellow sister in the world that may be in some situation like that. It has to be a choice. You're either gonna wake up and make choices to stay and put someone else before your own life, or you're going to make the decision to stand up for yourself. And better to have a few rough days getting it together and getting back to yourself, or a few rough months, than signing up for a lifetime to appease someone because you love them so much. But forgetting that you should be loved too. So you don't stop loving yourself to love someone else. That's not love, and that should not be required, because someone who truly loves you is going to know that you have to pour into yourself and also be poured into. To give your best self to anyone, no one should be subtracting from who you are. See, when you go into some shit with the right reasons, you're not going to stay in nothing for the wrong reasons. You heard me? See, you got to go into some shit loving yourself. It ain't nobody fucking fault if you tie your happiness to, and I'm only using this as an example, but tying your happiness to somebody else's ankles. The kids ain't a reason. The kids are an excuse. Money ain't a reason. Money is an excuse. You know? Straight like that. People believe in so much more than their own selves and abilities. They trust that they'll go to a new job and work 2 weeks in a hole and trust that a company gonna pay them, but won't give your own self 2 weeks to focus on your own dreams. Fear. Yeah, but yeah. So I'm just encouraging people, step into it. I don't know what it is. Everything ain't about these, I use it as an example, but when I even use the YouTube streets, it's not to deter, or it's not the whatever, it's not to feel shameful for supporting this, that, or the third. No, it's just making sure you are who you say you are. You know? It's making sure that you don't just say what you represent, that you just don't point fingers, that you also make sure you're not the very thing you're condemning. You're not, there's no such thing as, your evil is worse than mine because mine came after yours. No, that's not how our hearts are measured. Our hearts by the universe and actions are not measured by the next person's actions. That's not how we are read as our energy is read by the universe. Your neighbor does not have to account for you copying their behavior, for you copying their wrongdoing. It's not going to go on their head. Unless you are in your right mind. Now say God protects babies, the elders, and fools. And fools, but when you don't know no better. Not when you know better and you choose to go off your own will. That ain't that. So, I just don't want to let people get themselves trapped up in a place that is not for protecting your morality. It's not going to get you this place here is not the place. It is what it is, but excuse me, it is not the place for your deep dark secrets. It's not the place to need validation for something you want to do. And it's not the place to put your life and decisions in anyone else's hands. Neither is your off screen life. You know, you have to sit in your private corner sometime and say, okay, what is it that I want in life? What is it that is going to make me happy to work on myself? Or your household dynamics, work dynamics, friendship dynamics, all of that. It's in your hands. It's not something that you sit by the wayside or put on the back eye, because everything affects your current life. A decision made today, listen, you might not have time to switch over before the results come in. So, you know, you have to really tap into that, because I'm telling you, the spirit is something you do not want yourself to become into this space where um your life is wasting away in a dark place. Your life starts becoming based on um enjoying, you know, like the disgusting things and behaviors, disgusting words. Disgusting shit shouldn't become music to a good person's ears. That's when we have to start checking ourselves. Do I get more enjoyment tearing down than I do uplifting people? Do I speak more death into people than I speak life? Am I operating in hate or love? Because what you tap into is what you operate in. You know? Are you focused on people and thankful for the blessings? Do we not care what the substance that we're pouring out? What is that? We can't keep, you know, we can't keep hiding under things like social media, hiding under what we have, hiding under relationships, hiding under this, that, and the third. A lot will change in their individual lives when people get back to thinking like an individual. What is serving you? Who is serving you? And what are you serving? What are you serving? Time is everything, and we can't get that back. When I look around and I think about all the things that so much that could be accomplished when we're moving in purpose and not frivolously. There's it, you know, sometimes areas can just feel like it's purposeless, you know, just showing up to show up, but it ain't purposeful. It's just routine. There's no substance. It's just routine. We're accepting routine over purpose, you know? And I just, you know, that's just some things I want to you know, throw out there and make people think about, and not just about, I throw in YouTube stuff because that's how where we all are, but you know, I want people to reflect on things from on both sides of the fence, and understand that, you know, if we were all to, I like to use the saga still as a teaching point for all to learn from if anyone do so chooses. If not, then I just leave it where it's at, But I just want people to maybe see things differently if they stop separate, like acting like this is Hollywood and we come here to act or front or be someone different, and it's a different way at home and personal lives. Your things should pour out to the other side. Calmness and peace should pour out to the other side. Or else you're it's what you're choosing to dominate in, and then that will trickle the opposite direction. If we have peaceful homes, then we should be letting that peace spill over into and transform over the chaos. If not, then chaos will transfer over into other parts of life, because people do let this stuff trouble them. Words said do cause a lot of conflict. But we can choose to tap out and protect your ear gate, you know? Protect your ear gate. Otherwise, you get wrapped up in it. In your spirit, it's the spirit I'm talking about. It's not about what's going on with the wares and this, that, and the third. It's just keeping in tune with your spirit and making sure that your spirit is light, and that you living with no regrets, and you're not sacrificing bad upon your life and your family and things of that nature to get a last word or to get a last shot or a last dig. Because what it shows is that that stuff becomes more important. The last shot, the last dig, the last whatever becomes more important than you really understanding the power of words. That's why I also want to use mine differently, because for real, it's, you know, words are certainly spells, and they travel into the atmosphere and they're catching. So you have to be careful of what you show is more important. And there's times many have showed that the last word or the last roast, the last dig, none of that is important. Arguing with folks and having to you can't stop people from saying what they want to say. You can't control nobody else's actions. You can't control what someone's going to say about your family. You can't control what somebody going to say about you. You know what I mean? You cannot. But that ain't no reason to say, hey, if I can't beat it, join it. That don't always have to be the choice. You know. Sometimes it creates more peace to let you know the last word be spoken elsewhere. you know I'd rather have the first piece than the last word. That's where I'm at in life. I would rather be the first one I'd rather be the first to feel peace than the last to be than the first to be vindicated in chaos. So it's really a season to evaluate what's become important in everyone's lives. And has words become so meaningless that, you know, we don't even care about the payback for saying certain things, for wishing certain things, for speaking certain things. Have YouTube or alliances or beefs or things like that took away the thoughts of caring about what we speak into the atmosphere, you know, and what we can cause upon our own selves and lives for letting ourselves stay in such places that it can even draw you to certain angers. That these types of things are control over a person. You know what I mean? Um, decisions to stay in places that make us angry, hurt, um, hurt one's feelings or whatever anybody feels out here. You know what I'm saying? It's a choice. The why do it? It's no different than abusive relationships. It ain't, you know. The way you would cut people off in your real life that mean you no good or whatever, you don't, sit in real life and just go back and forth for days and days and days and days and days and years and years and years and years with somebody. You might have words over a couple of hours, maybe a couple of days, but then, hey, people, you either get over it or go your separate ways. But it's like the need, I don't know. I just don't know. And of course, I'm just at the place I'm at. This ain't for me thinking strange for anyone else, you know, type shit. This just the conclusions I had to come up with for me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm entertained by whatever whatever. Just you can't represent being good, but okay with, surrounding yourself with evil things, evil words, evil actions, things of that nature. It don't mix. It's fake. You know, real strength is standing behind your words with action. You know, not allowing things that would normally not feel good to be okay with you. That's when you letting your spirit become weak to appease social things. You're letting your spirit become weak to appease people, masses, to fit in places. Compromising. That's crazy work, you know? So I had to do a lot of checking within self, like, hey, um, you know, I just had to do a lot of self reflection and knowing that, I control me. You know what I'm saying? I control me. I don't have to subject myself to back and forth. I don't have to subject myself into defense. I don't have to subject myself into uh in dealing with anything or anybody that keeps me in these dark places, negative space. What's more important? Me being a peaceful, calmed, you know, enjoyable person, or you being in an atmosphere where you're constantly having a windmill, constantly having to, you know, explain something, defend something. No, you can just, hey, do you, you know? You can just do you and let the world do them, Otherwise, if you stay in things that aren't of you and don't make you happy and ain't of your spirit, you're moving as a person that has no choice but to be where you are. You know, you're showing yourself you ain't got no better option, or no healthier option. You feel me? Yes, a lot of people are being controlled on this here app and giving up their power. Absolutely. And yes, and that's why I'm able to speak on these such things because as strong as you truly may feel that you are, even me as a person, um, um, when I really start reflecting, there were definitely areas where, you know, I I'm gonna say I stayed in places that, I left my ear and eye gate open to things that, I knew were leading certain places. I knew where certain conversations were going. I knew this, or even it would happen, and I still didn't protect myself. I welcomed it, invited it, and instead of removing myself, I stayed in judgment. Well, I don't have to. It's not my job to judge uh life, you know. It's more so my job to stay in judgment of me and my own character, instead of judging what I'm witnessing around me. Let me judge why I'm around witnessing it. You heard me? In a way that causes me discomfort, so to speak, in my spirit or in my energy, is what I mean. It's not about enjoying entertainment, frivolous things or whatever. But yeah, certain things that it's like, no, it's not. You're not learning anything. You don't feel good. You don't feel good hearing things. You don't feel good seeing certain things. And a moment that you know you shouldn't feel good, but you don't feel nothing, that's when you really got a problem. You know? So yeah. So, this is just it's some things that has to be done when one is ready and not, you know what I mean? I could talk all I want to talk, but I'm just talking from my experience. But a person has to really be ready to understand this type of analysis, you know, because this when you not analyzing the next person, you analyzing you. Let me see here. Hey, White Dove. How are you, sweetheart? Well, I just came upon your live, and it is nice to hear something good and positive. We all need more of this. Too much hatred on the internet. It kills the spirit. I absolutely agree, White Dove. I really do. And I kind of feel that some people, and maybe you could be one of them, when I'm trying to make sure it's understood that it's all about balance. I don't feel like the atmosphere has been very balanced. I feel like just drama, evil, and chaos literally became the norm or whatever. And I accepted the norm, which makes me no different in control and strength than the next. If I too submit, I might didn't submit to a person or a group or nothing like that, but submitting to the atmosphere, submitting that um, you know, submitting to the atmosphere. And I've done that for sure, as far as, let me see. Okay, I read that one. But yeah, I've submitted to the atmosphere as far as, um, when you see that more dark and evil is happening at rapid rates than you see good. And you're letting, you know what I mean? It's like you're making up excuses for why your presence is okay observing this. You'll say things to yourself like, well, I'm watching, but I'm not commenting. I'm commenting, but it's to you know, take up for this person or that person, or da da da. It's like you kind of give yourselves these reasons to do what sometimes just ain't even your job to do, you know? Because sometimes we call ourselves trying to understand something or why someone did something or why a certain thing has happened, but we'll go to places like, well, I'm just trying to understand this, that, and the third. But honestly, are we trying to understand, or is it that we understand and just is present to figure out why everyone else doesn't understand, or to help make understanding out of it? Sometimes it ain't our place to, everything ain't for us to help the next figure out. You know what I mean? It's for you to figure what you gonna do with the knowledge. Are you only taking the knowledge and want to pass it for other people to grasp it, or are you gonna actually take what you've learned and do something with it? That's the big thing. You know, that's the biggest thing. And do we wait around to acknowledge wrong because we want everybody to recognize that this person's action is wrong? We want everyone to see how this was effed up. But what happens when you see it? Come to the upper room. Tell them, Miss Eugenia, tell them what happens when you see it. What do you do it wrong? What do you do when it doesn't feel good? What is your move when you see injustice or yourself being treated in a way you don't really want to be treated? Why did you take it? Why did you accept it? Why did you stay? Why did you listen? Why did you observe? The one thing we never do is move away from. It's either join in or rebuttal and defend. Let me see. I think we have all been guilty, whether just watching or actively participating. Absolutely. And my job today, well, I'm making my job for the sake of goodness, is for people to understand why. Because, for those few that are prepared for conversations like this, what we show, how we move, what we accept, what we say, all of this it resonates to our strength and who we are in real life. You can't accept wrong and fucked up shit in one area, but be an advocate for it in another area. Wrong is wrong, evil is evil, nasty is nasty, disgusting is disgusting, overboard is overboard, all of that. The purpose, the principle of it all don't change based on person. $100 stolen does not lose its point, its key word, stolen. That word doesn't change or lessen or becomes more powerful or less powerful depending on who was the thief. But see, that's how often shit gets blinded in these types of areas. We're not moving according to principle and purpose. These things stop mattering because people became more important than purpose. Instead of guiding people to purpose, we pushing purpose away for people. Huh? If you my friend, I'm going to find a way for your wrong words to be less wrong than your enemy's wrong words. Even I sometimes have based the strength of something on, well, who said what first? If two people say fuck you to each other, after both fuck yous are said, does it matter who said fuck you first? Hmm? Is that really the point of it all? Because I've sometimes made it the point of, hey, well, listen, if they said da 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 da, well, I can understand why you said no, 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 no. We know what we can do. See, we done started operating in the, well, let me show what I can do. That has become what is power versus restraint, versus putting the strength in what I can stop myself from doing. You heard me? Thank you, White Dove, baby. What can I stop myself from doing? Of course I can react. But what about not? If I say someone is not important, not worth a response, at what point, once I respond, did they become important enough to be responded to? I can't say they lack importance on a Tuesday because I am not going back and forth with them. I'm making them irrelevant. I'm making them unimportant. But somehow, because they keep going, I'm talking a break room too, because they keep going. By the following next Tuesday, it is a pass for me to start roasting or popping my shit because I've given you enough time and I did not say nothing to you, right? I let you get your rocks off. I let you be heard saying all these things first. So when I tear your ass up, it's justified. But is it justified with how I move? Does it make it okay to meet energy? Huh? If their words are oh so bad, how could I have a reason to repeat the same type of energy and shit back too? How was I able to make this person so important? I found those same words coming out of me. And I'm using me as an example. Y'all know it's only certain places I go and it ain't too dang on far low, okay? But I'm just using me as an example. I'm using people as an example. It really makes it doesn't work. It doesn't go right. It doesn't fit. It only means that both parties chose a negative route as a result, as an answer. Doesn't matter if my route took longer than yours or who started what where. It matters that I put your route out here like it was negative. It was fucked up for you to do. And I'm gonna match your ass. Once you done, once you da 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 da, I'm gonna match your ass. And my shit gonna be justified because no. Anytime that I meet a negative energy, it does not compensate because that person was negative first or this, that, and the third. And it takes a real G to even say this shit. If you can find that same negativity and use it within yourself and bring that out, you are operating. Your energy might have just came after the fact. Now, yes, some people go lower than others, and that's understood. But what I am saying is what level, whatever level you go to, when we say, or myself or whoever, such and such ain't important, what changes that makes them important once we do acknowledge them, once we do respond, excuse me. What changed? That's what we have to ask ourselves. What changed and made them worth the acknowledgement? Is it an amount that we give people to talk shit? A timeline? Well, I give a bitch 3 days to shut the fuck up. Well, I give a bitch 4 lives to shut the fuck up. None of this equates what our response is going to be. You know? So I'm just trying to encourage people to self-check, self-reflect. Notice your own movements. It's not about where you see everyone else. It's about where do you see yourself. See, we grow up with these sayings from our mothers and our grandmothers. If your friends jump off a ledge, is you gonna follow them? Your mothers and grandmothers and aunties always told you not to, don't do something because somebody else doing it. You gotta have your own reasons in life. We should not become adults and lose sight of these teachings, right? Getting so caught up that even adults 40, 50, 60 years old are being raised by the internet. We forget what our mamas told us. We forget what grandmama said. Get on social media and forget all this shit. We forgot grandma said and mama said, everybody ain't your friend. Huh? Remember when your mama said, what goes on, or your father, for sure. What goes on in this house stays in this house. That don't mean no crazy shit had to be going on in this house. That mean, listen, you don't go pillow talk with your little friends at school about family conversations, family business, family bills, family problems of any sort. However much the energy bill is, your friend, your little friend down there, family ain't got to know. All right. We forget about these teachings from our own history, our own life, from our own family. Don't tell your business. Don't pillow talk. Everybody ain't your friend. Don't follow the crowd. Huh? Have we forgotten? In our matured ages, we can't teach and forget the things useful that we were taught. Don't be wasteful. Don't be trying to keep up with the Joneses. A saying to which means don't be framing your life or molding your life by way of looking into someone else's. Don't be judging your life and what you have and what you have going on and what you want based off what other people have in their life, what they want to obtain. Don't stop liking silver because your homegirl only wears gold. You know? We were always taught to stand on who we are, be who we are, follow our own truth, our own instincts, our own path. And somehow, as mature as people are on this internet, it's very far from it. People are literally forgetting who they are. They are literally accepting the ways, the words, and the actions of others. People often say what they families don't see, and where they families don't come, because people are very different than who they are when their families around their families. A lot of this made me think about control. How we so loose in the tongue, but can go to church and hold that tongue from cursing and using foul language for some hours. But then in public, we have no restraint. Online, no restraint. That's crazy. So, yep. With that being said, my love, that's my 2.5 hours, which was a whole hour over what I really intended. But I was really enjoying the positive vibe. And the same way, I did not rush my roasting lives and other things. I do not want to not be able to provide just as much substance to uplifting and positive stuff. um and again, I say, you already know what this live entail, just searching into you and enjoying life, enjoying things, and supporting and loving and all of that stuff, but just not losing sight or making it a trade. Uh Dealing with anyone should not make you take a step away from yourself or make you compromise who you are, right? So, we should not be dealing with things and taking on things in any parts of our life that do not fit with all parts of our life. You understand? And it's okay. It's wonderful to have layers to you. It's wonderful to be more than meets the eye, and it's totally recommended to um also know that it's okay to keep parts of yourself to yourself. It's okay to protect your relationships. A lot of us lived and learned. um um if you want to be in a sector where it's okay to be more open, family oriented, this, that, and the third, you're gonna have to shape your community like that. You're gonna have to shape your supporters like that, and let go sometimes to open doors to what you may really want. If not, you have to accept the fluctuations. You have to accept the very different things that come with doing it the other ways. You know what I'm saying? Clones not stand as the original. Yes, absolutely, Miss Brenda. Hey, here with Tree. It's my pleasure as always. But yes, loves, is that is just important. Yes, White Dove, absolutely. So it is not to say, hey, don't enjoy hours and time with funny things and a little bit of drama, a little bit of this, but it's really truly, guys, all about balance. It's all about not being a person that becomes bored with pouring into yourself, bored with pouring in or hearing positive words, and find yourself only gravitating to, only chaos only. So what I'm pushing for is balance, not for you to you know, this, that, or the third, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's truly about balance. It should be okay that people are support. As you see, I don't think this live here got over about 35 people in it. A lot of people, like I said, and again, this is something that I personally know and accept the game. The thing is that these types of things change when you stay to course or whatever. You know what I mean? Um, when the algorithm recognizes you in a certain light, you have to have patience to not be discouraged, which we know I never am, but everybody can't handle. Um, they equate who they are according to who's showing what or this, that, and the third. When all of us have proven to have support on bullshit, roast, beef. It is entertaining, And if you like to laugh, like sometimes when it ain't nasty and disgusting, sometimes some shit will have you belly up laughing. You know what I'm saying? You know what and you know what it is. Okay. Period. Period. And thank you, here with Tree. Thank you. You all are very encouraging too. That's why I love it. I love it when we can get to this place. And the only difference is I am going to maintain this place. And it's not about us just, like a Rome was built in a day. It's like we have to start somewhere. We have to have a place where it shouldn't be um it shouldn't be a disservice to yourself to have a moment to regroup yourself, redirect yourself, find yourself. And you know what I mean? Because it really is a lot of lost sales out here, you know? And I don't know, each one teach one, reach one. So still about fun and laughter and just enjoying. But it's almost like if you look around a lot, the way we used to laugh back in the day is not the type of way we laugh anymore. It's almost like when something has truly been running its course, and now, uh, you know, you really have more reactions, than you have like laughter. The entertainment of laughter. So we have to wonder why, to hear somebody have death wished upon them, will get more views. I'll have to search myself to wonder why it's easier to spend hours listening to hateful things, and we have very little patience to, positive lives. We make them shorter, but can roast all day long. We can stay in a positive life shorter amount of time, but in our own bullshit, it's longer. If we really look at the shit, it's we showcase what we really who we really are, what we really tap into, what do we really what is it that we really, I guess, promote? You know, are we rushing to say, hey, such and such live tear such and such ass up? But are we slow to say, hey, such and such is live, saying some powerful things, this, that, and the third? Why we don't? Because people don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to rush to that shit. This is the truth about cats and dogs, and this is why we don't have enough of it. It's why we don't have enough of it. Because words can say, hey, I hate we're doing this. I hate that such and such is beefing and fighting. I hate hearing this. Not when it's what we show up for. And this includes me. Everyone's views, hey, Alan, baby, everyone's views go up in chaos. Everyone. But look at this. Clock it. It shows when the words are easier to say than the actions. It's easier to say, I'll be glad when all this mess is over. I'll be glad when people stop arguing. I'll be glad when people stop beefing. But it does not show that in the numbers. I'd be glad when people can get along, be positive. I'd be glad when we could, uplift each other and go where we want and da 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 da. I'd be glad when it's not all this uh topsy turviness and chaos, toxicity. But where do the people be when it's not toxicity? That's when people breeze through, when they come through just to speak. It's when you have very little conversation. Chats roll like a motherfucker when it's beef. You can barely read them. But because the goal is not to pour into oneself, when the goal is not to pour into others or to teach or to reach or to lead in a different way that causes less chaos, that is not what you're going to see the masses for. This is why this place rotates in and out of beef, in and out of somebody got to fall out. Because, hey, that's just what it is. Thank you, Mama 3, my love. I love you, sugar. So, you have to literally see this type of stuff. Oftentimes you'll see people in chats speaking positivity, but you don't see, that even people oftentimes have spiritual names, but you don't really see them showing. And shout out to God's child D, who does. See, some people you can see watching the cases, going to positive lives, and going to some where some shit talk at, a little balance. But you'll have people with the most spiritual, calm names in the most chaotic places. I bullshit you not. People wear names, but not the energy behind them. This is something people really have to start paying attention to. What are you representing and what represents you? What are you showing? Why would you tell your children and grandchildren to stay out of trouble, but cannot manage to stay out of trouble places in these on-screen atmospheres? Nobody likes to pull up for the truth because the truth requires reflection. It requires evaluating yourself. And when you're not ready to evaluate your own choices, you don't want to show up to the teachings. You don't want to show up because it just feels better to not have to do the work. It feels better to say, oh, they just are who they are, than to say, you know what? Do I like you because of what you stand? Why do I like you? Why do so many people get, friendships come and go, alliances come and go, groups come and go, all this shit? Why is that? Because people don't recognize how are they evaluating those that they even align with on here. So is the streets kidding you or are you kidding yourself? Thank you, Miss Brenda. Our next chat will probably be tomorrow. Shout out to you, Miss Brenda, and I really am appreciating you guys. You heard me. There's big people in these. Forget the numbers. What I be seeing when I pull up for this kind of stuff is I be seeing what's what. You know, I be seeing what's what. It's always a method to my madness, you know? Who talk it and who walk it. Hey, little Mo, welcome in. Welcome in. But yeah, so it's like a lot of bad things or weird things happen. But we sit here and we put so many eggs in unknown baskets and say why. We have to evaluate why do we align with anything we align with? Why do we go wherever we go? Why do we feel whatever we feel? Why do we accept whatever we accept? Because it's all going to start with ourself. Ain't nobody gonna take the blame for you not giving more of a damn about you than whoever you trying to prove yourself to. The internet will make you forget that there is a difference between that honestly being on this here internet will make you, if you're not careful, dumb yourself down for others, make bad decisions for others, make you become something you're not happy with for others. It'll make you support shit that ain't of your spirit. It'll make you overlook, deny, and put blinders on. I'm trying to tell you some shit. It's crazy beyond this point for people to, not get it by now. To not get it by now. Ain't nobody exempt from getting good results out of not paying attention, not caring, not evaluating, not protecting your energy, thinking you have something you need to prove, something you need to give of yourself. People are giving more of themselves, their energy, time, and spirit to strangers on the internet. They have more feelings invested in people on the internet than they even have with those around them in real life. Sacrificing more for the internet masses, wasting energy proving things for the internet masses that they stop proving shit to their damn self. It starts to become more about what's seen and what's believed over what just is, because what just is, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, whether it's believed, whether it's noticed, whether it's seen, whether whatever. People forgetting how to enjoy life because often people can't cut off the content creator from just the person. This shit ain't what we are, it's what we do. So self-reflection is so important. And as you move around in your life, your YouTube life, your internet life, social media life, Facebook life, wherever you are out here, as you move throughout, make sure you're moving with purpose. Make sure you're not moving wonderlessly, aimlessly. All the time. Make sure you're not waking up to find out through someone else how you feel, what you're supposed to be doing, what you're supposed to be accepting. And that's that on that. I am your gracious host, Tiff the Gift. I want to thank once again everyone who has pulled up for me today. The blessings that poured in on this live and the love shown. Like I said, one thing I've always known is that listen, Linda, the numbers that is shown within your live has nothing to do with the blessings that can come from a live. It does not take the masses. It does not take a certain this or that. All it takes is for what is to be and what's for you to be for you. Do you understand me? And this is why I never have worries because the right people will be in the right places. All right. And though that is something that we observed today, that is something that is appreciated through that observation. All right. That means that you are people who aren't afraid to look inside yourself. You must be people that are striving to do something different, to execute a goal, accomplish a dream, turn a dream into reality. Someone who may be trying to find yourself, get back to yourself, or become something greater than the self you've been or known. Whatever it is that led you here to listen to me on this beautiful Friday when you could have been anywhere else, I know it's because something is changing for the greater good in your life as it is in mine. So I stand with you all as you do great things, and just don't forget about yourself. And I'm going to make sure not to forget about me. Thank you for pouring into me. And I hope throughout these years I have poured into you and will continue to have the strength and the support to continue to do so, and unapologetically so, and on the set with it. You dig? So thank you for joining me on this journey today and in the future. Shout out to you. Gigi sisters, thank you too for being a great addition to where I'm choosing to be in my season on and offline, and making sure that greatness in one place match up with the greatness in others. You understand? So big shout out to my GGs who, I'm so thankful to be able to laugh with you all, build with you all, grow with you all, travel with you all, learn from you all, and most certainly love with you all. Thank you so much for being exactly who you guys are, for real, for real. Thank you. In my life, it is so appreciated. To my supporters, those that were here and those who are not, thank you for everything. Thank you for joining me on this journey as well. Brother Allen, Miss Eugenia, everybody who pulled up today, thank you so much. I hope you all know how much you appreciate it, including every member. Thank you so very much. And I bid you all a most wonderful, most loved, most blessed day. Don't forget to tell yourself something special as you end your day. As my cousin TC Chronicles, which this was inspired by, would tell you, when you wake up, make sure to tell yourself something wonderful, because, in fact, it starts with you. Ta-ta for now. Love you, Mel. Shout out to the mod team. I love y'all. Royal you are.